TV family. Catch us live on your TV screens.
Catch us live on your TV screen right here at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, making sure that you're entertained, more especially educated in these times. And I feel like this is a very, very important thing to talk about.
Yep.
Should people be out there taking them vaccines, child? Especially since we don't know as much information as we do about it. I mean, the information that we've been told is that it's literally just like the same thing when you're younger, when you're taking it for flu to prevent you from being sick as a child. So I mean, as you've seen, vaccines as children have worked for us before. So what makes this one so different?
I mean, child, we can't put it at the same place and say this is the same as flu, because flu cannot kill you, number one.
Ooh.
So can we just talk about that?
Yeah.
So let's not compare, let's know the full details. But in studio with us are people that know full details, or rather don't know the full details and want to express that. We are joined by the Young Nurses Nurses Indaba Trade Union.
Yes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being in studio with us and taking this time to talk about the vaccination. Welcome to Ekse Live.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Now, I mean, personally, it's a personal opinion. You guys are working in frontline. You are dealing with COVID cases day in, day out. You see people die from COVID. What would make you say, I don't want this vaccine, if the vaccine is supposed to be helpful and to help you prevent from getting COVID-19?
Okay, thank you very much. We must say that we are not fighting against COVID, the vaccine itself.
Yeah.
But the problem that we have around the vaccine is that there's no proper planning has been done around this vaccine, and there was no proper skilling of our healthcare workers around this vaccine. And number three, we are very worried that our government has procured COVID-19 vaccine, yet we are struggling with PPE issues in our facilities.
Lua, you know, when we talk about this vaccine, for me, and I know quite a few viewers at home, this is the first time that we've been introduced to the word vaccine. A lot of people don't have an idea what vaccine is. So could you please explain to us and the viewers at home, before we can continue with this conversation, what exactly is vaccine and the role that it plays to ensure that you don't get, for instance, flu or coronavirus?
Okay, with the vaccine, what they do, they first they make the body to create antibodies against the vaccine. If you inject it, it's like injected with the death virus. So the body will react by creating immunity antibodies on it. So when the time comes when you get the virus, the body is already aware of that virus and already created antibodies against it. So it's easy to fight it back before it progresses. So that's how vaccine works.
And then now, pertaining to this specific vaccine, the COVID-19, one thing that I read here, which was very important to me, is that there are so many missing facts that are not being, we as the public are not being told. Do you know some of the things that we maybe should be knowing, but we don't know, or do you guys also know as little as we do about the vaccine at this point?
Okay, one of the things that we need to understand firstly, because we are the people that will be giving the vaccine to our people. So we need to make sure that proper research has been done. What is that? Then if this vaccine will be safe for our children, which age group? For example, we haven't heard anything as to can we give the vaccine to elderly people. So it is not safe for us, it is not safe for our people. So that is why we are rejecting it.
And I just want to know, why is it that you haven't heard about the vaccine? Because I mean, if frontline workers haven't heard about that, what about us people that have literally no space in the medical field? And even if you tell us, we probably would be clueless. Who is to blame for frontline workers not knowing about the vaccine, or rather enough information about this vaccine?
Okay, remember this thing is from India. So the people that bought this thing from India should have acquired enough information around this thing so that they can come inform us. But as we are standing now, the only thing that we're told is that the vaccine is good, yet it was not proven like that. And the ministers did say that there's no showed efficacy on this vaccine to manage to manage illness that might come with COVID-19. Yes. So we blame the government of South Africa for not equipping our healthcare workers.
Yeah.
And speaking of equipping our healthcare workers, I mean, you mentioned something very important earlier about how you're still fighting for your PPE. I mean, your PPE, as well as the fact that you guys are still not being allowed rather to have a time where you can go to a therapist and go to someone for counseling for things like watching a patient die, watching your friends die in this process. Are those some of the things that you're still fighting for? Because I did read that it was you feel like the government doesn't really care about healthcare workers at this point because your most necessary needs are still not being met. Can you just elaborate on that for me?
On the matter of the PPE, we are expected to work normally, and as if you're treating someone with flu, although you're treating someone who has a contagious virus. So we are given. They say they're given us PPE. How can you say you are giving people PPE when you're only giving masks? But you're not giving the whole proper PPE that is being told on the media that what PPE that should be used. Should be used the gowns. They specify which areas to use the PPE. According to them, they highlight it as high risk places. There are places that if a patient comes in the clinic, is not orientated to the clinic. The patient will go around the clinic. So meaning that that patient, everyone that is around needs the PPE. Needs to be fully equipped with the PPE. Needs to wear the PPE in case that patient comes in anytime, anyway. I think Mr. Mene will finish up the question.
And then the question of the fact that I also think it's quite important for, especially times like this, you're watching your friends die, you're watching all these things happen, but you're still not being allowed, or rather given the finances to go to counseling to make sure that you're still able to operate in the system. Can you just dive into that a little bit?
So now what we can say, the government has issued something, it's like we have free counseling services that we can get, so something overwhelmed you. So the only thing that we want is the PPE for us to be safe. That's the only thing that we are fighting for.
Okay.
And actually, the question is, will you be taking the vaccine?
The question is no, this current vaccine. And we are waiting for Johnson & Johnson now has taken over. So they said the vaccine that is coming with Johnson & Johnson has been tested and the research has been done. It's 85% effective. 85. So we are waiting on that one and the research is still continuing.
Okay. And then right now though, I feel like we should find out what the viewers
are saying. Are you taking the vaccine? I mean, this interview, literally we have to talk about it even more in depth, but we're going to take what the viewers really say. Are they taking the vaccine? Yes, no, and why? And are they also waiting with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
Do they even know about the Johnson & Johnson
Are
vaccine?
you taking the vaccine? But we'll find out more after what the viewers are saying. You're watching Ekse live here on channel.
Yeah, if the vaccine were to come available, then I would take it. If the nurses and the medical professionals think it's safe and they're taking it and they're ready, then I think that I would definitely be open to taking it as well. For anyone wondering if they should, I'm not a medical professional, but based on whatever recommendations that they get from their doctors, then I would go off of that.
Would I take the vaccine? I probably would, simply because I'm not a conspiracy theorist and a lot of people far smarter on the topic than I have both taken it and said that they would take it. Looking at some of the initial data, it makes sense. Vaccines are overall incredible technologies that does help. I think some of our biggest challenges is going to be administrating the vaccine to almost 60 million people across the country. The only reservation that I would have to taking it is simply the fact that I think that if you have a really high chance of surviving something, giving your body the ability to build up immunity against it versus taking a vaccine is probably the better play. That said, in the long run, a coronavirus vaccine that can vaccinate you against this version of the coronavirus and potentially a couple of others is probably a smart move. So given the opportunity to take the vaccine, I probably would.
Take the vaccine? Would you take the vaccine?
I actually don't know. Right now, it's a high no, because I feel like, guys, I'm young. I'm sure mhlawumbe sengayitholi COVID. My body is still ready to fight it by itself. But maybe for the older people and the younger generation, they might have to. But for me personally, for now, it's a no. I feel like our ministers and everyone else, once everyone tries it and they are alive and they are grand. But also I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like, if you haven't taken the COVID vaccine, you cannot fly. If you haven't taken, and then I'm going to be forced, because if I want to fly home, I'm going to have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would you take it,
I don't know, honestly. And I feel like given the opportunity, and I know much information about the vaccine, I know that should I contract coronavirus, this vaccine is going to fight it back. I know I'm young and my body can fight, but given the opportunity, why not? Especially if I know it's going to help me. Because I take pills if I have a headache. Why not now prevent if... Do you understand what I'm saying?
I feel like we need to dive this subject back here.
Back there.
And then also, I just want to say though, I like reading all of these things, and these are facts, but we keep like saying like the problems, and we're going to keep hearing the problems. But do you have any solutions? What are we saying to our government? What are we saying to our president? How can we fix these problems? Or are we just giving them the problems and then hoping that they come up with better solutions? Because that is partially their job.
We are not actually fighting against vaccine totality, but the problem that we said, proper planning around this vaccine, and now that it hasn't shown any effectivity around treating or managing the illnesses that might come with COVID-19, that's the only problem we have. That's why we're saying that if Johnson & Johnson come with something that is legit, then we are ready to take it. Because we believe that vaccine is very good. But now there was very poor planning around this COVID-19 vaccine that's here. And something that has been shown is that the new strain of COVID-19 cannot be managed by what came from India. So that is why now our hope is on Johnson & Johnson. We're hoping that they're going to bring something that is legit.
I mean, I just want to go back.
You can't go back, my love. We have 20 seconds. We'll come back to them though. So you take us out though.
Okay, we're going to go to a quick ad break. But when we come back from the ad break, trust, believe that
you'll be back with the news.
My question.
You will ask your question.
My question. You're watching Ekse live here on channel 263, the People's Channel. See you soon.
CTV family, catch us.